All right. I'm the chair of the Parks and Rec Commission. My name is Ross Ritter, and today is May 21st. And I would like to call to order the meeting. First item of business is the roll call.
And the time of the meeting start?
At 5:30. 1.
Let the record show that all commissioners are present except Commissioner Comarat, who is absent.
Thank you very much. And if we could all stand for a Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you very much. If I could also just ask the commissioners and anyone in the audience to take an opportunity to look at your cell phones to see if they're on silent, that would be great. I'd very much appreciate that. Let's move on to item number 4, special presentations and proclamations. I understand we have 2 items. First, we are going to welcome our new director, David Knopp.
We couldn't even see you over there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's up down. Okay, thank you. Okay, let me try again. Sorry about that. It was a surprise move. Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm honored to, be here. I'm honored to be the new Director of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts for the City of Encinitas. I have worked for 34 years for a variety of cities, agencies, and park and recreation. This is my 5th Park and Recreation Commission, different agency. So like I said, lots of experience coming to the table. I am very much about celebrating what we do and why in the community, coming off of this great weekend's event, Cyclovia. And I'm about bringing people together to enjoy the benefit and how we make that happen. And that's happening right here. It's this group helping to make that happen. I appreciate it. And I look forward to the conversations that will happen between us in the future, too. I didn't give you the full elevator speech, but I would gladly answer any questions you may have. Okay.
I mean, you obviously have a very impressive resume, and most recently, you've worked with the San Diego County, so it's great because you have a lot of local knowledge, and we're really looking forward to your leadership.
Thank you. I'll clarify. So my time all in San Diego. I worked 9 years in Poway. I worked 9 years for the city of Poway, 6 years for the city of El Cajon before taking the opportunity to go to Coronado and open the new community center there. And then my last 9 years, I've been chief of operations for the county of San Diego. So I take all those different experiences and bring them to here, and I hope to make a difference for the city.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, welcome. Fantastic. And now we also have a special presentation that as a guest speaker from the Encinitas Trails Coalition. Linda, are you going to be providing or?
Jenny's going to probably do the video and all that. But
Okay.
you get all of us. Yeah.
Lucky us. Awesome. Fantastic. Well, the Encinitas Trails Coalition is a strong partner with the Parks and Rec Department, and we certainly appreciate you coming in and telling us about your organization and some of the needs that you've identified that you think might be worth us considering. So please go ahead.
Okay. Well, my name is Linda Martin. I'm the president. This is Jenny Hawk. She's our secretary. And this
I'm
is
probably
Doug
the oldest
Goad,
member.
is member at large.
Founding member.
Yeah,
I was also
yeah.
in Parks and Recreation for about 20 years too.
Yeah. So, okay.
So we put a deck together for you guys just to share what work we do in the community and some of the projects that we have worked on that you guys may or may not be familiar with. Before we start, can I just ask, do we have a 3-minute time limit?
You don't, so
You
take
don't.
whatever you need.
Okay, great, all right. And we use this to click through?
Give it a try.
Let me try. There it
Oh,
is.
there we go.
Okay. So we were founded in 2001 by Doug and some other community members, largely centered in Alevenheim. The organization was started to kind of be a voice for the trail system in the Alevenheim community. The group works with the City of Encinitas Parks and Recreation Department pretty hand in hand to advocate for the trail system we're called Encinitas Trails Coalition, but we really focus our work in Alevenheim, so you'll hear a lot of mention about Alevenheim, primarily because most of the members and the board are living in that area. So, but we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we work with the City of Encinitas to advocate for the trail system. We do a lot of community outreach. We do fundraising. We have made several donations, many donations to the city for trails-related amenities and improvements. And we kind of act as the eyes and ears on the trail system for the city. We work a lot with Bob Keeley, who I'm sure you guys are all familiar with, to identify any maintenance issues out on the trails and also to help advise when the city is seeking to develop new trails. We kind of act as an advisor.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, issues will come up of encroachment or something like that, and then we have a direct line with Park and Rec that we can get a hold of somebody and say, hey, they're putting in concrete on this trail. What do we do? You know, so
Yeah.
it really helps.
So we've done a lot of projects over the years, so just going to kind of run through some of the past
Let me say something
projects.
about that one real quick. That's Little Oaks Park you're looking at right there, and that's probably the seminal project that brought attention to about trails to Encinitas. That was done by a local resident. He donated the materials and the labor, and it was the first thing that actually happened. It was sort of the centerpiece, and once we were able to demonstrate the interest in trails in the community, the city council and the city jumped on board, and we got the trails master plan.
We'll have some more pictures of Little Oaks Park in a minute. So recently, we worked with the city to help advocate for and fund trail fencing that runs along the El Camino del Norte Trail. We donated, I think, a total of $15,000 towards that project. Obviously not enough to cover the entirety of the project, but it was helpful, and I also believe that it kind of helps kind of get the wheels turning on projects, you know, when we make a donation. So I
Yeah.
think that is something that some value that we add to the process is just putting some advocacy behind it, putting some dollars behind it. The way that we fundraise is primarily through memberships and also through community events. We'll get to later in the deck, but you know, we're a small group. It's a completely volunteer-run organization. None of us have paid positions. We're all here just donating our
volunteers.
time.
Yeah.
So 15,000 is actually a small number to you guys, but it's a huge number to us. So we're really, really proud of that. We got a little bit of media coverage from that, from the various donations that we made. There's Doug and Linda on the front page there. We do have a video. I would love to play this. I'm not quite sure how that works with this. Okay, thank you. Those are our horses.
We were at the
Me and Linda's
opening.
horses.
We rode over.
This is the ribbon cutting ceremony for Trail 95, El Camino del Norte. There's
That's
Linda on Copper, her horse. That's my horse, Tito. Part of the trail crossing was some user-activated safety lights, which help our trail users get across the pretty busy road safely.
Yeah, and we just helped, you know, corroborate with the city on where to put the light and how high it should be and where the crossing would be best and
The
that
material,
kind
the
of thing.
footing of the crossing to make
Yeah.
it equestrian safe. There are a lot of equestrians in our group. It's not an equestrian group, but actually the entire board are equestrians and a lot of our members are equestrians. We have a lot of non-equestrian members, but you'll see horses as a consistent theme throughout our work.
The other thing I'd say is that there's a tremendous amount of demand for trails in Encinitas. If you go down by the golf course, there's a trail that runs along that par 5 right there, that's always packed. And then Indian Head Canyon, those are all part of the trails master plan as it was conceived in the beginning. So,
It's kind of how the group got started with the Trails Master Plan. They were involved in that
Doug
as
was
well.
really involved in getting that
that
off
was
the ground.
that's where I jumped in, but these guys really did a lot as far as the, I'd say the conception and the development phase. And when you talk about the build out, that's where they really shine. They raise a lot of money, they get a lot of contributions. So,
Okay, we'll keep.
I mean, what we see today is really the result of their collaboration with Bob.
Hmm.
I talked about it too, I mean, I like talking.
Okay, so this is another project. We have chicanes on the trail system in Alevenheim to help minimize unauthorized motorized vehicle access to, they don't exactly prevent, but they slow people down who might want to use the trails who aren't authorized. We can't have any motorized vehicles on the trails, so that they help prevent that. So we work with the city to help design those, to make them safe for equestrians and to make them make sure the footing was safe and the spacing was appropriate for different user groups.
This became a problem at one point because we had a death in my neighborhood on Double L, where motorcycles were coming down the road and they were, you know, riding around in fields and such, and they came out, one of, you know, 13-year-old kid on a motorcycle and just got hit by a car. And so we came up with this idea of helping the trail stay safer, you know, and so that the kids couldn't get on it with their motorcycles as easily, take a different route.
It
you
also
know.
prevents like ATVs or, you know, John Deere Gators, those types of vehicles from accessing the trails, and they can really damage the trails, so we want to keep those users off.
But a bicycle or a stroller could get through. You know, you just have to take your time.
Yeah. Another project that we worked really closely with the city traffic department, actually. This was not as much with Parks and Rec. In fact, I don't think we worked at all with Parks and Rec on this. It was mostly with Abraham. Were improvements to the crossings. We have quite a few trails in Alevenheim that have mid-block crossings where we don't have the benefit of having a stoplight or a stop sign to help users safely cross the road. So Linda and I work really closely with Encinitas Traffic to create custom signage. This is actually custom signage that we developed with them to indicate to cars that they have to yield to the horses, because we were having a lot of problems in Alevenheim with vehicles not recognizing horses as pedestrians and not stopping for them at these crosswalks, and actually not even recognizing them as crosswalks because they, like I said, there is no stop sign or other.
They're not at corners, you
They're
know,
not at
they
corners,
could be
yeah.
in the middle of Lone Jack and you're like, what is this?
Yeah. There's our friend Bob, who we work closely with. And you know, the sign that you see with the horse indicating a crossing is coming ahead, we had those kind of placed strategic points throughout the road leading up to the crossings. This was a related but different project. We had these custom signs made to make drivers aware of their obligation under California Vehicle Code 21759 to actually slow down for horses. It's part of the law that nobody really knows about. You have to slow down or stop for horses if they're on or adjacent to the roadway. We just had a lot of problems in Alevenheim with cars just flying past the horses and spooking them, and people, there were no serious injuries, but you know, here and there, people coming off horses. So city was really kind in accommodating this request to put these signs throughout Alevenheim, and they lead up to the crossings, but they're also kind of punctuated throughout the community because people ride everywhere along this roadways there.
You know, it's interesting, on my way down here tonight, there was a guy trotting down Rancho Santa Fe Road. I don't know if he was commuting or just trotting down with his horse, it was brush hour, you know, so I thought, well, that's interesting. You know, but we still have a lot of that goes on.
Yeah, there's a reason why there's a horse in the City of Encinitas seal. We're keeping it real back there in Olevenhain. So Encinitas Trails Coalition also worked with the city to name the trails out in Olevenhain. I don't know how many trails there are, but there's a whole list of names that Linda worked really closely and Doug as well.
I'd say specifically, it was done through the Parks and Rec Commission when I was a member 20 years ago. They asked us to, or maybe in 2012, sorry. And they asked us to get together and come up with a list of trail names, you know, that had to do with the community or the number that was designated by the consultant that did the Trails Master Plan. So we put that list together, up the city.
Yeah, because before it was all just numbers. You're on Trail 82. Well, where the heck is that? You know, I don't know. So, like, you need a name. It's much easier.
Yeah.
Well, we even have a bridge that's named after one of our members, Ellie's Bridge. It was in the first picture.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
it's
we'll
coming,
show it
yeah.
in another slide. Yeah, so ETC came up with the names, and then we also donated and had the signs, the placards for the trail markers made. We donated money to support that project. And then we had our own little placards. That photo got reversed somehow. It's like,
Oh,
but that
yeah,
does
it
say
is
like,
kind of backwards.
this trail marker made possible by Encinitas Trails Coalition or something like that. Here's Little Oaks Park that Doug touched upon earlier in the presentation, and I'm gonna let him talk more about that. This is before my time, so.
It's, you know, actually what it was a part of the Stratford development that was in that area. There was a lot that didn't get built. And so there was a diagram of an equestrian park that was created by the developer. And so we knew we needed to do something to bring the attention to the city, that the city public was interested in trails, you know. So we had a contractor that volunteered his time and his equipment and bought the materials to build a park.
So,
and it's
so
been-
this
it's-
is,
It's used every day, so it's.
yeah, and the way it relates to the trails, which may not be obvious to non-horse people, is that if people from outside the area, or even in Olevenhain, but maybe they live a little bit further away from the trail system, they need a place to stage horse trailers to safely unload, to drive to the trailhead, unload the horse, and then they go out onto the trails. Well, part of this park includes an equestrian, like a horse trailer appropriate parking lot, because you need some big spaces to park a truck and a rig. And people will haul their horses in here, get the horses out. They might ride them in the arena first to make sure everything's safe, the horse is calm, and then they can go out onto the trail system. So it's not just like an equestrian park standalone, it actually ties into the trail system in that way.
That's the kiosk. Linda takes care of that, so there's usually a trail map in there, so even people with mountain bikes.
Yeah.
bicycles will come in.
They have groups meet there, and then they go on a ride, a bike
Totally.
ride, you know, and so they'll stage
Hiking,
there
biking.
too as well. It's
Yeah.
got
Plus there's a lot
parking,
of walkers too.
Yeah.
which is nice.
That's Ellie's Bridge.
This was a bridge that we worked on with the city. We donated $13,000 towards this bridge, which was half of the cost then. They had 13, we had 13. But this used to be impassable many times, and it's just muddy and stuff, so it was a big connection between El Camino del Norte and Lone Jack Road, so you can use it all the time now, you know.
I would say that Ellie was one of the founding members.
Yeah.
It's Ellie Troster is
She
the
always
one
had
that's in-
offered her house up, but we needed a meeting place, that's where we went.
Yeah.
She was a horse person.
So kind of bringing it up to the current day and current projects, one project that's pretty big on our radar right now is this Rancho Santa Fe Road Trail Fencing Project. You guys may have heard about this. There's been a lot of talk about it. It was an agenda item in a recent city council meeting discussing what type of material to use for the fencing. It got to that point because of the advocacy of Encinitas Trails Coalition. We have been advocating for many years. In fact, before I even started with the group, probably for over 10 years, to put safety fencing on this really popular trail in Olevenhain. Rancho Santa Fe Road is kind of the main artery through Olevenhain. It's a really popular route, as you can see, with kids walking to Olevenhain Pioneer Elementary and DeGander Middle School. you can also get to LCC using that route if you lived in Levenheim. But for whatever reason, there was no safety fencing on the side of the road, or to delineate the trail from the road. And vehicles travel pretty fast in that corridor. They, 40, 50 miles an hour. So we've just been advocating for a long time with the city and with David's help. They were able to attain a grant for, was it 150, David?
Yeah,
$150,000 to pay for the construction of that safety fencing. So where it stands now is they have decided on a material for the fencing. That was kind of a bit of there was varying opinions in the community about what type of fencing to use, and they have landed on a fencing material, and David could probably fill you in on all the other details where it is today.
Yeah, sure. So we did land on composite fencing. I believe that's going to go out to bid sometime in the next couple days or week, and so we should have bids on that. I'm not sure if they're doing a 14 or 28-day bid, but we'll have bids back soon, and then that'll be going back to council to award the contract. So expect to see that happening this summer.
That's great. Thank you so much for your advocacy on that
For
too.
sure, definitely.
And getting that grant. We had been seeking grants, Encinitas Trails Coalition, because we do grant seeking, and we have received grants, but they're small and nowhere near what David was able to procure. So that was awesome. We're very happy about that.
Yeah, and again, that came directly out of the advocacy. You guys had asked for it, brought it to our radar months before, and this opportunity came up and it plugged right in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been making noise about that issue for a long time. So, just to goes to show that just regular citizens who want something to be done in the community can actually see that happen if they advocate for it. So,
It may take a couple of years, like 5 or 10.
or 10 or 15.
But, you just keep after it.
Yeah, it will happen. So we're happy about that. This is Joanne Hubbard. She was a founding member of Encinitas Trails Coalition, really active in the equestrian community. Her daughter was a city council person from Cardiff, Jody Hubbard, for many years until she passed 2 years ago-ish, something like that. And Joanne recently passed in December, and one of the projects that we kind of initiated after her passing was to put a commemorative stone on the trail system, because she was really instrumental with Doug.
Yeah,
And
she was very central to our decision-making and the way we went about it, because she worked with her husband on the trails plan in the Santa Monica Mountains, where they lived in the LA area before they moved to Encinitas. And so we really leaned on her quite a bit. She was a big help.
And so one of her phrases was always, trails are for everyone, so.
Which is our
Yeah.
organization tagline, so.
Yeah.
So we're going to.
Yeah, there's one installed, it's on Camino del Norte, if you go out there.
Did it already get installed?
Yep, mm-hmm,
I haven't
yeah,
seen it.
yeah. It's between Lucille and Windmill Ranch Road, if you go out there.
Yeah, so we were happy to be able to commemorate her, and thank you to the city for allowing us to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of our community outreach is another big part of our advocacy as an organization. So we'll kind of just go through a couple of the ways that we do that. We have events throughout the year. There's Doug manning our booth.
Mhm.
We participate in the Levenheim Crafts Fair and the Encinitas Arts and Crafts Fair here on the 101. And we have our tent, and we have a big blown up map of the trail system. We talk to event goers to raise awareness of the trails. There's a lot of people in the city who don't even know there are trails, let alone like horse trails. They don't, you think Encinitas, you think of the beach. You don't really think of the other side of Encinitas. So we kind of have drawn a lot of people into the trail system and made active trail users out of people who maybe weren't aware of it before. We raise money in this capacity. We sell like some of our little swag, and
I do some homespun stuff.
Linda will make different kind of crafty items to sell. I say sell, but they're really just donations. It's a donation. We create and print a trail map too of the Levenheim Trail System, which is a really handy asset for trail users who don't know the trails and wouldn't otherwise be able to navigate them successfully. So those are for a $5 donation. Well, yeah, here they are right
I
here.
brought some.
Brought a couple for you guys.
Yeah.
About the raising money, you develop that process as far as electronically going in.
Yeah, well, we were kind of instrumental in the whole pocket guide thing. We felt like it's hard sometimes when you have your cell phone and you're out there in the sun, and we were like, just give me a pocket map. Grab it, you know, you can look at it,
I'm talking about
you
raising
know.
money to get people to make contributions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Real people.
yeah, yeah. This helps, yeah, and nobody's like, oh, they want a map, so it's kind of like our best item that,
That's our best
really,
item.
yeah.
We also have meetings. We used to meet monthly, and now we meet every other month. Linda hosts it at her house, and the whole community is invited. You guys are all welcome and encouraged to attend. Ross has attended some of our meetings, which was really nice to have his attendance. Bob Keeley has attended as well on several occasions. We send an invite out to city council and to our membership base, but we always say anybody can come. You guys can come if you're interested, you have input, you want to learn about what's happening on the trail system. Please join us. It's fun. Sometimes we drink wine. This is from the Liebenheim Crafts Fair, group of volunteers. We have a website that we have built and maintained where people can find information. In fact, if you Google Encinitas trails, this is like the top thing that's going to show up. So we're leading a lot of, you know, organic search traffic to our trail map and to our organization, which is cool. This is a trail map that Linda was just holding up in the web form. And we pay to update this. Like when there are new trails that are made, that are created, we have to update the map. So we work with a graphic artist to have the map updated. We also sell it in the community, like at Carter's Feed Store and somewhere
Crafts
else.
fairs.
Crafts fairs, stuff like that.
Yeah, dog and suds.
Yeah, Dog and Suds. We maintain a social media presence on Facebook. We kind of had next door for a little while, but we don't really do that anymore. Yeah, so we have a group on Facebook, and we post updates so the community can be aware. Like, for example, if a trail is closed because it's being repaired, we'll try to post an update so people can plan and not go that way. Or we have like different trails related posts, like this trail etiquette thing, just trying to raise awareness for the trails and proper usage of the trails. We do fundraising. We usually do a Giving Tuesday fundraiser through Facebook, and we've been able to have some donations that way. We've
I think it
also,
moves to PayPal now too. Facebook went, not doing that
Yeah,
anymore, so we'll
it
have to
changes.
kind of
yep,
figure that part out for
Yeah.
this year.
and we do a big campaign like to support that and get donations for Giving Tuesday. We've got this extreme terrain clean trail project grant that we use towards some of our donations to the city. We'll put grants towards that, and that's it. Yeah.
That's the trail to Spooks Canyon.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing.
That's little, what's that?
That's Spooks
Yeah.
Canyon.
Yeah,
On the eastern edge.
yeah.
Yeah. You guys have any questions, or we've talked your ear off already?
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Certainly appreciate the presentation. Any commissioners have any questions?
Actually, maybe more than one. How about branching out into all of Encinitas?
Well,
Uh,
there's trails in all of
I
that.
have
Yeah.
a feeling that might be a question.
Yeah.
You guys, anybody, there's a couple people here that can answer that for you, but there are trails.
He means like our advocacy and our organization.
Well, we see people,
Going
because look at
into
the Main Street event.
If there's an issue or they want to extend a trail, like I think Ross did something over off of Manchester, and we met with you and you talked about how it was going to come about. I mean, if somebody has an issue or they want to do something, we're happy to help. I mean, anything that has to do with trails and Encinitas, you know.
Okay, and on the last page, your fundraising said it was going to match. I was wondering where the match money was coming from.
That one was through Facebook.
Oh, that was through Facebook.
Yeah.
They would
Yeah.
match a certain amount if you had givers give within a certain time of starting up the fundraiser. So we did get some match from Facebook on that.
It wasn't a ton of money though.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that exposure was pretty well received? Like a lot of hits?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it
remember
was
what
one of
we-
our
what we
better ones.
earned? We're not talking like millions of dollars.
No, no.
I mean, if we win $500, like that.
I think it was like $650 or $700. I mean, that's, yeah.
We're pretty happy with that.
But the best part was you had people that could give monthly, so that really helped out, you know, as the year went on.
And is there any benefit to being a subscriber?
A member?
Yeah, member.
Oh, yeah. You get a Trails map?
Actually, you get a voice with the community,
Yeah.
you know, because we send out our newsletter to the council and, you know, make issues known when they come up. So you have,
That you see with some of these trail projects with the fencing and that sort of thing, all that winds together, all those donations and things, we're nonprofits, so none of us are getting paid for doing it.
Right.
But any money we make, it goes to be pushed in some of these different projects.
yeah, like the signage, you know, the trail signage or the map at Little Oaks Park, things like that, that we can,
What's the biggest contribution you think
$1,000 maybe,
you have?
yeah.
So we've given over 20,000 to the city, so you can see the little bits count.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we only, membership's like $20, you know, I mean, it's, you can't even buy anything for $20 anymore.
Yeah, and that's a family membership, so.
Yeah,
That's for the whole family. We should raise our rates, actually.
I know.
Inflation these
Yeah.
days.
We're just happy to have
Yeah, we'd love to have
somebody,
you guys
yeah.
join. If you're interested, you can go to our website. We can send, well, just Google it, you can find it easily.
And I did get a grant for some, like promotional items, so I brought them for you guys. They're water bottles. And then also, this is sunscreen. I wanted to make it so, you know, things that you would use on the trail. So, yeah, I got a $500 grant. This kind of stuff, yeah. Which I was like, oh my God, really?
Can you come every month with a different giveaway?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
You probably have one.
So Doug, prior to the 2002, when that park was built, were there trails back in the Liebenhain at all that were city?
They were historic playgrounds, you know, there's a lot of cattle ranches out there. In fact, there's still a loading ramp on Bone Jack Road from the old cattle creek bed. You can still see part of it. But, yeah, there were a lot of trails, so they were being used, but they weren't official. And we were worried about the intersection of development versus recreational resources. And we wanted to have some kind of a voice in how we could maintain that resource. So we started investigating, and we got a lot of support. We had, when we dedicated the park, we had 3 council members that showed up. We had about 40, 50 people. It was a big deal. So that sort of set us off. They hired the consultant, and she used the actual circulation element of the city to begin to design the trails for the city. So trails are mainly walking, biking, hiking, you know, they're not for motorized vehicles. I mean, now we have electronic bikes, so that still could change, but, you know, it's really just more about recreational, a way for people to get out and do something outside.
Thank you. Well, I would just like to say on behalf of the commission, we're so happy that the Encinitas Trails Coalition is such a strong partner with our department because you guys do amazing things with small number of people. I look at the things that you do and I'm amazed that you get so much done and the strength of your advocacy. So thank you so much. They also meet with park staff on a quarterly basis, so we definitely have a nice direct line with them, and they truly are our eyes and ears out there on the trail. A lot of times when we have heavy rains or we have issues that come up that we don't have city staff to actually be out there noticing every little thing, they will report it to us so that we become aware of it and we can take corrective action. So certainly appreciate all of that. Thank you also for sharing not only your past contributions to the community, but also what you're looking at doing in the future. So that's good to know as we kind of look at things that the commission is involved with to see if there's any alignment with what some of your goals are. I have attended some of their monthly meetings as a very welcoming group, and I learned a lot. Really, before I got on the commission, I had never really walked the trails out there in Liebenhain, and I live in Cardiff, very near the coast. I really thought, oh, well, that's Encinitas. But then once you get out there, it's like, it's a whole nother world. And if you haven't gone out there, check out the trails. It's really fantastic. And it really feels so completely different than what you think coastal Encinitas is. So. And it's warm and sunny all the time.
Yeah, I second that. I recognized every single one of those pictures. I run your trails all the time. And I really just want to personally thank you because they're just, I mean, it's just a wonderful part of our community.
It's so much fun because you can see it build over time, it just keeps getting better and better. And a lot of it has to do with the city staff, and being able to partner with them, have a dialogue, and move forward, so.
And I think I might need one of those maps because I get lost up there a lot.
I have one.
Yeah, I think one thing we also should have mentioned but didn't is that in Liebenhain, the trails are also, they're recreational in nature, but they are a big part of our mobility as well, active mobility. As you saw in some of our slides, lots of kids and families going to school on the trails, riding bikes, walking, takes cars off the road, keeps emissions down, keeps traffic down. So the way we think about it is not just recreation, but it is part of the mobility of our community.
Thank you. That's a good point.
So you're okay with the electric bikes on there? I guess that's a, how do you feel about that?
They are.
Yeah, just class 1 and class 2. I think
Right.
class 3 is prohibited.
Yeah.
I don't know all the
I'm pretty
classes
sure
very
that's
well,
it,
but
right, David? For electric bikes, class 1 and class 2.
are permitted.
Oh,
Once they get to a certain speed, they're not allowed, but like the ones that go under 20 miles per hour, I'm pretty sure those are the ones that are allowed.
But the kids usually are riding on the road when they're going back and forth to school. Yeah. So,
Yeah, some of them are
Some
on
of
the
them
trails,
are,
so,
yeah.
yeah, we were.
yeah, depends on.
Well, thank you again. I certainly appreciate your time coming in and speaking with us and giving us more of a background information on your organization.
All right, thanks, Ross.
All right, fantastic. So moving on to oral communications, I understand we have some speakers tonight.
Yes, for oral communications, we have 5 speakers. The first 3 speakers are here to speak about a skate spot at Moonlight Beach, and they will come up together and take turns. As a reminder, you each have 3 minutes to address the commission, so come on up. And the first speaker is Barry Blumenthal.
One more note regarding oral communications. First of all, thank you very much for coming in and speaking in front of the commission. Because it's not on the agenda like our guest speakers from the Encinitas Trails Coalition, there can't be any back and forth between the commissioners and the speakers. So you'll have your 3 minutes to say whatever you'd like to say. And unfortunately, we can only ask maybe a clarifying question, but other than that, there can't be any back and forth.
All right. My name is Barry Blumenthal. I'm 59, retired. I relocated to this area from Houston 3 years ago, partly because of Pood Skate Park, because y'all have done an amazing job. That's a world-class global destination. And so my thoughts were, it's under so much demand, and y'all built such a great park, you need another bowl. And to me, the obvious spot is Moonlight Beach. I know it's a county park. I know there's challenges, but y'all were really successful with the playground y'all had installed, I think, in 2004. So to me, this is an adult playground. But we're talking about 5,000 square feet roughly. And, at this point, you've got some of the greatest skaters on the planet here in Encinitas training for the Olympics. In 2028, it's going to be in LA. But none of your tourists really know about it. They don't come out to the Encinitas skate park. It's not really near the beach. But if you put a bowl on the beach, I think you get credit for all the inspiration you're creating, because when you go to a beach park, you want to be inspired. You're watching the surfing, the volleyball, the skate park fits in, and it's so photographic, I think it becomes a destination. Not to mention, the Fortune 1000 uses skateboarding for TV advertising, et cetera. Like Venice Beach wins most of those TV advertisements, and they're the only, large-scale bowl area on the beach in Southern California. So I think this would be a way to kind of reinvent Moonlight for the next 20 years, because you're always battling the beach shrinking, and all your other beach spots are challenged by the beach. You add something like this, and, people all over the world want to come to this spot to see some of the greatest men and women in the world skating, and it opens the door in 2028 with the Olympics. If you build a great bowl, you might be able to host the Olympic bowl competition. But my goal would be to raise the money privately. I think the opportunity with a bowl like this, at a spot like this, it wouldn't be, as challenging. I've been involved in raising privately funded public skate parks in Houston before, and I know when you have an epic location, the fundraising is much easier. And but bottom line is, I think the demand is there, and because you built such a great skate park, you don't have you can have a spot now, and you already have parking, you have bathrooms, and you have playground area. So there's already precedent, and our goal would be just to figure out how to get the permitting or whatever is required so that we could see what's possible. I know there's a lot of red tape when you're involved with the county, and there can be challenges, but we're up for the challenge. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
The next speaker is David Skinner.
Hi, my name is David Skinner. I'm a teacher. I have to take notes. I am 59 years old, be 60 in 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks I'll be retiring from 31 years as an elementary school teacher in the area. And I also would like to speak in favor of this. One of the things I noticed recently, I was on the Red Bull website, Red Bull, big supporter of action sports, and one of the things I searched was the top skate cities in the world. And it listed all of them, and then I drilled down to the United States. And the top two places in the United States are Los Angeles and San Diego. When you drill into San Diego, they specifically mention North County, San Diego. And when it comes to transition skating, pools and things like that, this is the spot. And so they have a little video clip that I watched, and as I was watching the video clip, mostly they were showing street skaters, but then they had a clip of, I could be wrong, but it was Moonlight Beach, looking down onto the plaza in front of the snack bar there. And I thought, well, that's interesting. There's no skating there. Not legally anyway, and certainly not in a way that's in the best interest of all the other users there. We, the local skaters, are willing to help out make this happen. We think it's a great idea, and we would love to have your help with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the last speaker is Doug Marker.
Hi, like she said, my name is Doug Marker. I'm 62 years old. I'm a native San Diegan. I'm a resident of Encinitas. I've been skateboarding since 1970. I'm an ex-professional skateboarder. Still very involved in the skateboard community, skateboard design, and helping getting skate parks built, like I was involved in doing the Carmel Valley Skate Park some years back. And the reason I kind of share some of my background in skateboarding is I'm very aware of the skateboard community since day one, since clay wheels, and I'm still there. I know everybody in the Olympics. I'm part of the fabric of skateboarding. And Encinitas is the mecca of skateboarding in the world. I see these pictures up here of the beautiful beaches and your parks, but you really should be embracing skateboarding. Like I said, I'm very involved in it, and I'm at the skate parks, and now that it's in the Olympics, I see the teams from China, the teams from Japan, they all come here to train and see what it's like to be at the Mecca and see who they're really going to be against. And there was a time in 2000s, especially, where if you wanted to be a professional skateboarder, wherever you lived, you came to Encinitas, because there was no way that somebody was going to look your direction, because all the talent was here. And it's always been in Southern California. I mean, we're proposing having that bowl built on Moonlight Beach, and we're not talking a big skate park or something that's going to impact it, like take away from the beauty that's already there of the beach.
We just want to put a nice, beautiful, professional bowl. And it would be nice to see like the city of Encinitas, that big logo right there in the middle of it that, really shows like putting a statue, let's say at the beach, that commemorates like this is skateboarding and we love it. Encinitas, as you all know, is a dreamland. It's a coastal dreamland. It still has a 1950s coastal 101. It has it all. And skateboarding, you have the most famous skateboarder that's ever lives here. I have friends that travel all over the world skateboarding, and they can go to any little skate park in Italy or you name it. And if they say they're from Encinitas, California, all the kids stop and look and come over and ask you, like, what is it like to live in Encinitas and skateboard there? And we just recently had we had 3 guys come from Belgium, and they were like 60 years old. And they had taken a break from skateboarding for a couple of years, and they flew to get back into skateboarding. These guys flew all the way over here, and we met them at Pood Skate Park just to hey, we're going to get back into skateboarding, so we're going to start off, right here in the Mecca of skateboarding and really dive back into it. What I just want to share with you, I know there's going to be challenges, and there's always money and red tape, but I just want to sell you on the vision and the dream of how beautiful that would be and how it should really be embraced and be in one of your photos up on the wall to embrace skateboarding and where it comes from. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And if there's a way that you can put us on the agenda or let us know how we can move forward or talk about this more, have a question, answer situation, we'd love it. Thanks.
Sounds good.
The fourth speaker we have today is Christine Schindler, and she's here to speak about cyclovia in Encinitas and other mentions. And as a reminder, you have 3 minutes to address the commission.
Wonderful, thank you. So I'm really happy I was here for the Encinitas Trails Coalition presentation, so thanks for inviting them. So I'm all about praise, no requests tonight. So I'm Christine Schindler, I live in East Encinitas. This past Sunday, we had, I call it cyclovia instead of cyclovia. So cyclovia Encinitas, it was our 4th one. It was fantastic. Open up the streets, close them down to cars, and just have all sorts of fun. So I just wanted to thank the Park and Rec Commission for embracing it yet again and being involved with it. Love that you guys are setting up the pickleball, cornhole. I know Ross is involved and his leadership's been key. I'm sure that others were involved as well, and I just want to thank you. It's a wonderful event, and I hope that it goes on for many years. And I hope you guys appreciate it and embrace it like I do. So I just wanted to show some photos. I don't have any photos of the pickleball, but we had a wonderful volunteer photographer that took some pictures, and I got the full download, and so I'm going to look at those, and I'm sure there's some compelling pickleball photos as well. So that's his name down there at the bottom. If you actually want to go on his Facebook page, you may be able to find him before I do. So the next slide, if you would. My first slide was welcoming the new director for Park and Rec. If you can actually back up to that first slide, because I wanted to acknowledge people from Park and Rec and from the city manager's office. So the first slide, there you go, one that you popped over. Nick Buck was instrumental. He used to be in Park and Rec, now he's a mobility manager in the city manager's office, and he did a really great job. Nicole White, it was her first time as the new special events person putting on this event, and right on, Nicole is really happy. And Margaret, I want to appreciate as well. I don't know how many volunteers we had in the end, but using that VIP program that she and others have worked to establish is wonderful for things like this, that we can call on those volunteers. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is we are continuing to do city cycling classes once or twice a month, and that falls under Park and Rec, and we're using the registration site. I'm involved in them because I'm a league cycling instructor working with San Diego County Bike Coalition. So the city brings us in to do those classes. They're held at the community center And then on the third Saturday, on the fourth Saturday, held at City Hall. And I just wanted to make sure you're aware of it and just thank Park and Rec for engaging in those opportunities. Just one really quick message. We're doing, all of those classes have been filled up by adolescents and parents. So we're doing a special 55+ class. So you'll see these flyers. If you can help us get the word out, that would be appreciated. So two opportunities in June. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
And the fifth speaker we have today is Chuck Klotfelter, speaking about Cottonwood Creek pickleball.
Hi, folks. How are you? Thanks for having me in. I don't know if I'm addressing you guys or you folks. I'm just a single man pickleball player. And I own, first of all, I paid 2 mortgages here in the city of Encinitas, have for about 15 years. Very proud of that. When I want to play pickleball with 3 kids playing 3 club sports, I've got to jump in my vehicle and drive up to Poinsettia Park. They're open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And they have the beloved paddle rack system. You just show up as a single guy or gal, you put your paddle in the rack, and they pull 4 people out, sometimes strangers, maybe you've played with someone before. Incredibly efficient, incredibly non-discriminatory. As a single person, you can go there anytime from 8 to 10 and get a game in with 3 other people. This is the most efficient way to manage access to pickleball. When you go to Cottonwood Creek, as a single player, good luck. There's no way to get on a court, you know. No one's gonna look at you. They're there in a pair, a 4-pack. The culture's not there. It's not very accepting at all. I don't have a dog in the fight. I play maybe once a week. Busy guy like you guys are. But boy, it's a lot of fun. I'd love to play more. If you guys thought about adopting a paddle rack system on one or several of the courts, this would allow people to really take advantage of the opportunity to use those courts. If you Google pickleball saved my life, I mean, just read all the stories. Chemotherapy, divorce, depression. People are loving this sport because it is so accessible. And I think by putting in a paddle rack system, you might, help some people save their own lives, so to speak, or literally. I think that's all I've got. And I'm looking forward to the day where I can hopefully go down there and put my paddle in a rack and jump on the court with 3 other people. Thank you so much. Appreciate the opportunity. And if you want to look at these, just Google pickleball paddle rack, and you'll see them made out of PVC metal. They can lock them to the chain link fence so no one steals them. That's all I've got. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. And that is our last speaker. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. Well, it's great to hear so much from the community today on a variety of different subjects. Moving on to the agenda item number 6. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
Thank you. Let's move on to approval of the minutes for the last meeting, April 16th. Do I have a motion for approval? And do I have a second?
I'm sorry, could you clarify who that was?
That was Commissioner Quinn. Moved. And a second, please.
Second. Mr. Comrade.
Chair Reader, I watched the video even though I wasn't here, so I'm going to vote.
Great. Thank you for that clarification.
Let the record show that the motion passes with all commissioners voting yes.
All right, fantastic. Let's move on then to the action item 8A, working on our work plan. So the goal today is to finalize the work plan so that we can present it to the City Council. So as we go through the work plan items, if we could both look at it from a standpoint of any wording that we may want to change or update, as well as if any of the ad hoc members that are currently involved have any updates that they'd like to present on that work plan item for any work that they may have done in the last month, that would be great as well. So nothing is finalized, so that means that if you've decided that you might want to change being on certain ad hocs, certainly just let that known. Some of the ad hocs are completely full with a maximum of 3 commissioners. Others have less than that, so we can have a maximum of 3. With all that said, let's go ahead and move on to the first work plan item. Let's read through it and let me know if anyone has any thoughts or changes they'd like to make. This particular work plan item is one that kind of carries through from year to year, so generally there's not a whole lot of discussion. Anyone have any additional thoughts? All right, let's go ahead and move on to work plan item number 2. Let's read through that. We have basically the members involved, we have it for all except for the holiday parade. The holiday parade, we'll have that set up as a special ad hoc that will help with the that whole process, which is basically discussed in the project outcomes column as the last sentence. I know that Commissioner Evers brought to my attention an idea on this particular work plan item due to a comment that Manager Hammer had mentioned last meeting, where she might look to the commission for potentially helping distribute some of the Parks and Rec guides to some local businesses around the Encinitas community. If that's something that the commission would like to take on, she was recommending that we add the words "and assisting with community outreach" after at the end of the first sentence. So it would read, "Commissioners will engage and interact with citizens as well as raise awareness of the Parks and Recreation Commission by participating and volunteering at events and assisting with community outreach." Does the commission have any thoughts on adding that language or taking on that responsibility of helping with the distribution of the Parks and Rec guides? Would we like to add that verbiage to it? I see, just give me a head nod one way or the other. Okay, I'm seeing yeses. Great, great. All right, so that's what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add at the end of the first sentence, "and assisting with community outreach." That will cover whatever community outreach help that may be needed. Any other comments?
Chairman Ritter, there's only 2 of us on ad hoc, and the holiday parade is kind of important, I think. I was wondering if anybody, fellow commissioners, would want to get on it.
You could put my name down.
All right, fantastic. And addition. All right, moving on to work plan item number 3, unless there's any other suggestions. All right, so identifying the guest speakers for monthly meetings. We're off to a roaring start. We've had 2 great speakers for our term, so I'm looking forward to keeping that moving forward. Does the ad hoc have any additional comments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think I emailed you a list of, from my notes, organizations that we might want to speak. In fact, one of them was here tonight, which is good.
Yes.
I actually met a lot of those folks at the fair a couple of weeks back, and I did, and some of those suggestions that maybe we want to vet at some point with the rest of the council were basically from my notes and also from wandering around the fair and seeing who was participating in our community that had some tangential relevance to the Parks and Rec folks. So I can bring that back next week if you'd like me to.
That sounds great. I would also suggest that working within the ad hoc, the three commissioners that are involved, that we can kind of work on maybe finalizing that and then taking action as to who we'd like to reach out to next. So that would be my recommendation, is we can work on it between now and the next meeting, and perhaps we might even be able to get someone to speak at the next meeting.
That sounds good. Thank you.
The other thing that I would just say is that although there are only three commissioners on the ad hoc, everyone on the commission is welcome to offer a suggestion for organizations to one of those ad hoc members, and they will just run with the ball and see if they could get them to speak. Other than that, are we happy with the language? Okay, great. We'll move on to number 4. Volunteer promotion and recruitment. I think we could probably still keep that language just a little bit vague, just to kind of help out when needed to make your promotion recruitment even more robust. I would just cross out that TBA under the stated goal column. Do any of the commissioners have any other additions? Anyone on the ad hoc? Okay. Number 5, researching and planning for outdoor adult fitness equipment. As a member of that ad hoc, I don't have any additional comments on it. I'm happy with it as it is. Any other commissioners have thoughts? All right, with that silence, we will go to page 2. I'm glad we kept this next one, item number 6, on, because although it's been quiet, I feel like it's starting to get a little bit more attention recently. So I think it's important for us to still keep a pulse as to what's happening there on the tennis and pickleball courts. And I know even at Cyclovia, there were several people that kind of came up and spoke to us with different recommendations and thoughts. So I think that further exploring this and continuing to get community input and finding a solution that can work for the most amount of people would be great. I'm happy to see that we have Commissioners Hanson and Quinn, who were on this ad hoc last year, to be on it again because they bring some history and experience to it. Does the ad hoc have any changes that they'd like to make to the wording? Okay, great. Well, we'll leave that standing. Pop-up parks. Oh, and then I would also just say as we go through, if any of the ad hocs have any updates that they'd like to make regarding the work plan items, certainly feel free to discuss that. Because we'll do that, for instance, on this next one on the pop-up parks. So was there anything on any of the previous 6 that anyone want to talk about? All right. So moving on to number 7, the pop-up parks at city events. We have a full ad hoc on this one. Any changes? Well, as an update, obviously you heard from Christine Schindler. We were we were well represented there at the Cyclovia. It was fun to actually see the Parks and Rec Commission pop-up park listed on the map. So that was kind of fun to see as well. I wanted to first express my appreciation for the ad hoc for coming and participating in the event thoroughly. And in addition to my ad hoc members, Commissioner Hanson also joined us and helped us acquire some paddles and balls, which was fantastic. So great that all came together while I was on vacation. So I appreciate all the effort and time that you spent in doing that. Also, I wanted to recognize Commissioner Hanson and Commissioner Vanderauer for their work at the pop-up park at the movie night at Cardiff Glen Park. So thank you for that. Was there anything that either one of you would like to speak to regarding the movie night? All right, so I don't think we have any changes on that particular item. I don't have anything else that I would suggest speaking about on the actual activity. So let's move on to number 8, Parks Master Plan regarding trails. Does the ad hoc have any additional verbiage that they'd like to change? Okay, great. We're making this easy tonight. So let's move on to number 9, supporting the Harbor Seaside Parkway development. Being on that ad hoc, I'm happy with the language as is. It's a slight change from the previous one, mainly omitting some language regarding coordinating with staff. So commissioners will assist the Carter Foundation with public outreach to educate the community about the Harbor Seaside Parkway and to develop support for the project. So I'm excited about this particular project. It's more of a long-term project, but I do feel like it's basically adding more park to our park system. So I'm excited to work on this particular ad hoc. Any discussion on that one? Okay. Number 10, support of the Friends of Encinitas Parks. I am participating in that, as well as Commissioner Hanson, who actually heads the organization, and then Commissioner Evers has added herself to it as well. Is there any changes to the language?
Just a typo, I think. Friends of Encinitas Park in the title. Is it Parks or Park?
Yeah, it should have an S.
Just one, the one.
Yeah, it should be. So in the stated goal column, it should have an S for parks. Thank you for bringing that up. All right, finally, one that has not been listed on the work plan item as of yet, but was something that we did discuss a bit last meeting, is the importance of updating bylaws. So I'd like to thank Commissioner Evers for providing some language to consider. So I'm recommending that we add a number 11, which would have a stated goal of update bylaws for the Parks and Recreation Commission. And then the project outcome would be update bylaws for the Parks and Recreation Commission according to guidelines provided by the city clerk and submit them for review by the city attorney and approval by city council. This is language that some of our sister commissions are also using, so I would recommend we just stick with it. And then Manager Norgard, did you get information as to whether this was going to be workshopped or whether we should assign an ad hoc to it?
The plan right now is a workshop.
And the workshop would be any available commissioners could attend, or would we only send representatives?
I'll take credit for this idea. Vision for workshop would be for each of the commissions to send, or anybody that could attend, because it would not be an action meeting as a workshop to go through, to come up with common bylaws for all the commissions, and then it would go back to your commission individually to approve or to edit.
And so, should we have an ad hoc, though, to work on kind of refining what we want, like before we go in for the workshop, or is this thought that we're just going to hammer that all out in a group with all the various commissioners from the different commissions?
So my personal take is it's something we're going to hammer out all together. But if you wanted to form an ad hoc and have ideas and thoughts to bring with, you're welcome to do so.
Thank you. I would say, first of all, since it's not going to be mandatory for all commissioners to attend, I think maybe the first thing to do is to examine who on the commission would be interested in participating in this. Manager Norgard did actually forward me the bylaws that we're currently under. It's only a 5-page document, so it's not like it's a huge undertaking. It's going to be kind of a one-time thing. So are there commissioners that would be interested in participating in this in particular?
I'll volunteer.
Great.
Is the idea that whoever volunteers would review and come up with suggestions or thoughts first? Or is it, I feel like, I don't know, is it like cart before horse on some of this stuff, or?
Well, I think probably what I would recommend is that Manager Norgard or myself would forward our current Parks and Rec bylaws to you, just to kind of get a baseline. And then I think with that knowledge, when we go into the meetings with the other commissioners from the other commissions, that, we'll work on coming to an agreement.
Okay, I'll volunteer.
I'll do that as well. I think it's probably good to have a senior commissioner. Since this is my 4th year, it might have some value as well. So thank you very much for the volunteers. Let's go ahead and start it as an ad hoc, and then if we need to add more members for some reason, we can, but I feel like at least what we've done is we've identified commissioners that have the time and the interest in participating in it. Does that sound good to you, Director?
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. All right, so at this point, Manager Norgard, would you recommend that the commission vote on the verbiage based upon what we see now and the noted changes that we've discussed verbally?
Yes, with one additional edit. If the bylaws are number 11, that'll waterfall and we'll make the next two 12 and 13. And from there, yes, I think you guys are good to go to make a motion and approve.
Okay, great. Well, as Chair, Commissioner Ritter, I would go ahead and suggest passing a motion to approve the work plan as we've discussed. Do I have a second?
Second.
Let the record show that the motion passes unanimously with all commissioners voting yes.
All right, fantastic. So we've gotten through the hard work, and now we get to hear from Manager Norgard on the park operations report.
Thank you, Chair Ritter. Two relatively quick updates, both good news. The contractors who have been working to repair the Beacons Beach access have completed their work. That was final inspected today, and Beacons will reopen tomorrow morning sometime a little after 8 a.m. There's a little bit of work to do under the sidewalk on the north end, so we'll have a little bit of fencing in that area, but it will not impede any of the beach access. So we're open before Memorial Day, which is fantastic. And then finally, the Maggie Houlihan Memorial Dog Park will also open on Memorial Day as scheduled. I walked the dog park earlier this week with staff, and it looks absolutely fantastic. The grass has probably never looked better. Put in a lot more sod, did some seed, aerated, and added some sand to lighten up some of the soil that's in there, and it's really looking great. So if you have four-legged friends, please check it out. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Manager Norgard? All right, let's move on to recreational services, please.
Manager Hamer here. I wanted to start by thanking everybody who attended the VIP appreciation reception. It was truly lovely, and we appreciated everybody who came to join us and celebrate the program that's been up for a year now and clearly still in development with your support. Also, thanks for the help at the movie in the park, which I heard was a lot of fun and a lot of kids running around and having a great time, as well as the Cyclovia. That was my first Cyclovia event, and that pickleball court and everything you had set up looked like a lot of fun. And it enhanced the event, which we really appreciate. Coming up within our department is the Music by the Sea. That is Friday on May 31st, 7:30 p.m. at the Encinitas Library. Tickets are $20 online and $25 at the door, and it does sell out. So if you know anybody interested, encourage them to purchase now. The competition, they had a concerto competition, the arts division, and they had 3 winners. And those 3 winners will be performing with the North Coast Symphony Orchestra, and that will be on Saturday, June 15th at 2:30 p.m., and that is at the community center. So that's going to be a really exciting opportunity to see our young musicians performing. On top of that, upcoming events are the EcoFest, which is Sunday, June 2nd, 11 to 3 p.m. We're hoping to recruit volunteers for that event, as well as Sustainable Solutions Fair, Saturday, June 22nd. That's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And down the road will be the Cardiff Dog Days of Summer. That's July 21st, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. All those items are in our new summer guide, which hopefully you received at your home. And the great news is on the first day of registration, it increased 70% from 2023 to 2024. So I have to give a kudos out to the members of our team who, in arts and recreation, we've been doing a very strong recruitment for new instructors. So planning for the opening of the new art center with programs, arts moving down to that center, and then us with recreation having spaces at our community center and senior center. We've done quite a big recruitment. I think we've had about 50 proposals come forward. So a lot of new classes, a lot of new activities, and we're very excited about that. If you know anybody interested in teaching a class, I know we even promote this one. We have our booth. Please tell them to come to our page. We have a site called Become an Instructor, and we're still looking for more instructors. So thank you.
Please.
When is the first concert at the beach?
Moonlight Beach concerts. So that's right on the back of the guide. They start July 14th. Those will be organized again with one main band, and I believe they're going to have like a youth teen band that opens as they did last year. So we'll be putting those up on the Volgistics VIP portal, and for anybody interested in helping to support that event, we do use a lot of volunteers to help the load in and load out.
Can you tell me a little bit about the Sustainable Solutions Fair, and is that something that is sponsored or co-sponsored by city or the Parks and Rec Department?
Yes, it is in the guide. It's not our event, but it is a partnered event. They have an MOU with the city, so we did include them. We will have an outreach booth at that event, and we have not been requested to help with volunteers, so we're not going to have that piece of it, but we will be there for outreach and information. And we do, as much as possible, try to be at all different events so that we can have FaceTime with the community, talk to them about what we have going on, and stay connected.
And could you tell me again what day that is and what the location?
Yes, the Sustainable Solutions Fair in the guide is on Saturday, June 22nd. It's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it is at the Farm Lab, the Encinitas Unified School District Farm Lab. So that should be a lot of fun. Swap and shop, interactive booths, DIY activities, panelist discussions, and that's in partnership with I Love a Clean San Diego.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the additional detail. So as we look at the next month between now and our next commission meeting, we have the EcoFest that the commissioners could volunteer their time and be ambassadors. And then also, let's see, June 22nd, that's probably, not quite sure.
That's after our
okay.
next meeting. Yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, keep that in mind if any commissioners might want to do that. It's a great event and it's got a new home. So in the past it's been at Cottonwood Creek, and this time it's going to be at Fox Point Farms. So it's kind of exciting just to see how that's coming together. So certainly consider doing that. All right. Moving on to item number 10, any commissioner member initiated agenda items?
There are none.
And any future agenda items added by commission members?
There are none.
Fantastic. That leads us to commission reports, roundtable. We'll go ahead and start at the very end.
Thanks, Chair Ritter. Yeah, just want to say thanks to everyone. I know so many people worked on Cyclovia, and it was super fun to be a part of that. Also, I passed out a lot of summer guides and showed someone the Outer Spatial app on my phone, and they downloaded it to their phone. So it's a really good opportunity for outreach as well.
The VIP reception, which I attended, was fantastic. It was really a first-class event with lots of delicious food, and all the mayor and the council people were there, and it was a good event. I apologize for not making Cyclovia or the movie night, but my daughter graduated CSUSM with a degree in biochemistry. So I had to attend that. I'm sorry, but I just had to throw that out there. But thank you.
I think there's a proud father there. Congratulations.
Yeah, just to agree with my peers here, the event, the VIP event, recognition event was amazing. So thank you for including us in attending, and Cyclovia was a great success. So congratulations.
Yes, ditto on that volunteer event, and nothing else to add. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry I missed Cyclovia, and I had some conflicts. But I know I have been somewhat active with my network of pointing people to the volunteer webpage, and in particular the request for instructors. I know people who are art teachers and whatnot. So I think I've been directing them that way, and I appreciate your email. And if there are questions, to be able to direct them to the right person to get in touch with. So I appreciate that, and hope it helps, and I'll continue to do that.
I'm tired from all the stuff we've had the last month. The Cyclovia was awesome. The VIP evening was great, far better than I even thought it could be. Just everything is going so well. I really like it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Some thoughts that I have is the VIP event, really sorry I missed it. Spain was calling, and well, you know. But I did want to say that I've only heard glowing remarks about it, and I think it's so important for us to show our appreciation to our volunteers because we really do depend on them for so much. I would also say that Cyclovia ran, from my perspective, extremely well. And I appreciate my fellow commissioners that have worked on the event and helped organize it in my absence. And you guys did a great job. I know there were a lot of moving parts and a lot of supplies, and but it all just got down there. And like I told Manager Norgard today, it was like we do it every week. You know, it just happened. So thank you for being on top of things. And I'd like to welcome our director again. I think that you're lucky because you are moving into a department that I feel really good about. I think they're headed by a couple great leaders that have respect of their department. So that helps make the job easier, and really looking forward to learning from you and all the different places that you have worked in the past and how that might make our department even better. One idea that I had, and perhaps you had already had it down at the Parks and Rec booth at Cyclovia, but I know last year we had a little sign that had a QR code on it, which basically allowed people to download the Outer Spatial app, and perhaps it was down at your booth, but I know that we used that quite a bit at our booth last year or 2 years ago, and people really found that very easily to get the app down. So if we still have that sign available, I certainly recommend bringing that for when we do public outreach. Other than that, looking forward to EcoFest, another great event coming up, and hope to see some of my fellow commissioners there. So thank you very much. And with that, at 6:58 p.m., I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.